Did you see that thing of a clip of him that was going around a few weeks ago where he's preaching, he's on stage and he goes, I feel like I've just had a bump of coke and I've never done
Yes.
coke for the record, for the record, for the
Yeah, for
record,
the record.
for
For the record.
the
There's a topic and you care a lot about it. Uh huh. Interesting, elaborate a little bit. Uh huh. Go on. That's cool.
All right, everybody. So every once in a while, I get an angry comment that says, "Why do you care?" And since I get that question sarcastically all the time, I thought I would ask people sincerely, why do they care? So I have Stephanie Drury here. So I want to know, Stephanie, why do you care?
I wish I didn't. I
Yeah.
would love to not care.
Yep.
I care so much, it's distracting, and, I've tried to not care, and it just hasn't gone well.
Yeah. I hear you.
I care because I feel like there's a burning building, and I wanna get as many people as I can out of it.
Yeah. Yeah. I hear that. I hear that. I have been a fan of yours for a very long time, I think. I feel like it was 2008 when I started reading your blog.
Well,
Does that
that's
sound
when
right?
I
2000.
started it, so
Yeah,
that would make sense,
yeah.
yeah.
Because I remember my office mate at the time was like, "Oh, you'll like this," and sent me the link, and I've been a fan ever since.
Aw.
So a bit of a parasocial relationship, I guess, is what they call
Those are the only
it.
kinds I have, so
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So, I know, like, so you created stuff Christian culture likes, which I guess at the time, stuff white people likes was very popular.
Yes, that's
Yeah,
where I got the idea for the name.
yeah, that's great. And then, yeah, there was a lot of parody accounts and stuff. And then I found yours, and I think it was just really eye opening. I think I was already hating on Mark Driscoll at the time.
That
So,
wow, that's great because he was not really not that nefarious at that point.
no,
Yeah, yeah.
no, he wasn't. I remember like when I worked at the record store, I used to watch his videos like on my break in the computer in the back, and then Mark Driscoll videos would be in the recommended videos for like other people in the staff to be like, who is this guy? Who's watching sermons back here? And it was me. And then at some point, I'm like, this guy's really toxic.
Yes, and it was, he was so kinda under the radar, and I feel like I understand why a little bit more now, but at that time, I didn't know why he triggered something very primal in me, but it's just like
Yeah,
danger,
yeah,
we need to get away from this guy, this is not cool.
yeah. And so what made you decide to start talking about this kind of thing? Toxic preachers, toxic Christianity, things like that.
It all started in 2008, like I said, with, um, a road trip that I was on with my friends Greg and Simone, and the election was heating up with McCain and Obama, right?
Right.
And they were saying to me, they're like staunch atheists, and they're saying, why do all these Christians support this warmongering party?
Yeah.
It made no sense to them. And I'm like, oh, I can tell you exactly why. Being a Southern Baptist preacher's kid, my parents were with an organization called the Navigators my entire life, it was kind of founded around the same time and by the same people as Campus Crusade for Christ. I don't know
Okay.
if you're familiar with that either,
Yes,
but
very much.
so that's, based out of Colorado Springs, and that's just what they did, and I just lived and breathed evangelicalism growing
Yeah.
up in the American South, Arkansas and Texas.
Right.
So when I moved away and got married, I've been in Seattle, for like 27 years now.
Yeah.
I started therapy and was coming to grips with, why do I feel so unsettled about this church stuff and at the same time compelled by what's good about it. So I was picking that apart. And on that road trip, they were, Greg and Simone told me, you know, a lot about evangelicalism stuff. You should start a blog. And I didn't have a blog yet, but I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm already in therapy. This is a good way to tease that apart.
Right.
And stuff white people like had just come out. So I'm like, I'm just going to call it stuff Christian culture likes. And I didn't call it stuff Christians like because I wanted to distinguish between actual ancient Christianity and
Right.
what we think is Christian because they have nothing to do with each other,
Yeah.
truly.
Yeah.
Um, and it turns out there was already a blog called Stuff Christians Like, but run by a total douche nozzle
Right. Who
named
was that?
yeah I John Acuff is his name, and now
Right.
he's using his that platform to create a lot of content. Like he's just maniacally creating content. He lives in
Yeah.
Nashville. He's just very evangelical, and he works for Dave Ramsey, or he did, or
Oh.
he's just totally took the evangelical track. It's kind of funny. I'm
Yeah.
sure he's a nice guy, but I'm also sure he voted for Trump. So if
Oh
you can
yeah.
call those
So
people a
douche. Yeah.
nice guy, yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
So that ended up like creating a community, stuff Christian culture likes, where people just kind of flocked to it and
Yeah.
left so many comments. I got so many followers going, "Oh my goodness, I didn't know other people were struggling with this like I was," and it really kind of saved my life to
Yeah.
see that many people come out of the woodwork and say, "You're not crazy." I had that same experience.
Yeah, I think because I was already starting to question things, and I think yeah, some of that like yeah, there was your blog, and there was a couple other things, but primarily your blog that like just let me know that it was okay to call out some of that stuff, and it was okay that I wasn't okay with what was going on, and so now I eventually left the faith altogether. I consider myself an atheist now. Where do
Mm.
you see yourself?
It's interesting. I tried to be an atheist,
Yeah,
but I just couldn't do it. There
yeah,
was something that resonates for me that's outside of anything that fits into a category.
yeah,
And my husband and I don't go to church anymore, but that's because we feel like we don't need a church building to connect, and churches and relationships, and churches
yeah,
kind of, Jesus said the kingdom is within you.
yeah,
And I really feel that more than I ever have. I think that the church tried to tell us, no, you really need community. You need to go to church and you need to
yeah,
tithe and do what we
yeah,
say. And so it's bad news for the establishment if people are going to outsource that.
yeah.
Uh,
Exactly. And yeah, now we have online communities and we have other ways of connecting with people that, it's not a small town where the only way to interact with people is to go to church on a Sunday morning. There's other ways to have that community. Yeah.
exactly. Exactly. And I have become really drawn to Mother Mary.
Yeah.
I grew up being afraid of Catholicism. My parents were like, we'd rather you be atheist than Catholic because they
Oh,
worship
wow.
idols, they worship Mary. And I'm like, oh, that's bad. So,
Yeah.
but slowly through my deconstruction, I was drawn to this Catholic church, this cathedral by my office. And so I would go in there and it was all spooky, but there's something very cozy about it. And I was drawn to the images of Mary. And
Yeah.
I just feel um, that she represents something that's really um, true and helpful. So, it's been very helpful for me to have that outside of evangelicalism, because if I had been born Catholic, like you could not pay me to go into a Catholic church, I'm sure it would not
Yeah.
have the same kind of respite. But I've been able to kind of create, I deconstructed, now I'm reconstructing
Right. Yeah.
something that's meaningful for me. Yeah.
Yeah. That makes sense. And and I get what you're saying too about like because the one thing I struggle with calling myself an atheist is because like I know why I came to that point and I know why I see myself that way, but I also see that the atheist community can be just as toxic as the church community, and I understand that like giving myself that label for a lot of people, it's like, oh, you're that creep, like you're with those creeps or whatever, like those guys who were emailing Epstein about, like Richard Dawkins and Lawrence Krauss, they're all emailing Epstein about like, how can I get past these allegations? Like, what do you recommend? And it's like, oh, so this isn't a safe space either. Like, we have to also work to make this a safe space. So, yeah, that's something I'm struggling with now is like, how do I keep calling out this toxic group that I used to be a part of, but also acknowledge that now I'm joining myself with these other toxic people, and how do I call that out while I'm here? So,
Exactly. No, I think they're fundamentalists across all denominations or categories of anything
yeah,
religious or irreligious. Because I
yeah,
noticed getting into the progressive Christian space, I was invited to be part of a secret Facebook group that had a lot of, this was, early, probably like 2011 or 12.
yeah,
It, when everyone was on Facebook all the time, the secret Facebook group had people who were writing progressive Christian books. And then something, there were abuse allegations within the circles. And I'm like, oh no, we have to talk about this. And they're like, don't
yeah,
you dare. No, because we have business deals with the accused. And I was just like, your whole platform is calling out abuse in the church.
yeah,
And here it is happening. But because you have your income is tied to it, I
yeah,
mean, I get that that puts you in a pickle, but what do you really believe?
yeah,
And then I
yeah,
saw it's not, this isn't a safe space. It's not,
yeah. And
nothing's immune.
I think I know who you're talking about with the abuse. I'm okay with naming names. Are you
Okay,
okay? Okay, so Tony Jones.
sure.
That was a big turning point for me as
Hmm.
well. Like, because I would have considered myself a progressive Christian at that time. And just the fact that so many people stood by him and were just okay. Like, you can look up the medical reports and stuff online. You can see what he did, but they're still like, no, we're going to share a stage with this guy. And it
Yeah.
just, yeah. And
Yeah. And so Rachel Held Evans was my friend who
yeah,
was working with him. And she told me after being an advocate for people who are abused, and that was her
yeah,
big part of her platform. She said, "Well, there's no corroborating evidence, so I'm not." And I'm like, "Girl, I work with victims. That there's never corroborate, like hardly
no,
ever is there
yeah,
corroboration because that's what abuse is. They are very
yeah,
clever. They cover their tracks.
yeah.
It's more calculated than you can imagine." And she said, "Get off my back." And she unfriended me. And that was our last conversation. And
Wow.
then she passed away unexpectedly a few
Yeah,
years later. And that was just, I haven't wanted to come forward about it, but they recently released another book that was kind of a anthology of other stuff that she'd done, and it feels like a cash grab. And I
yeah,
understand that because the publishing business is a business, but it's also you. Like these
yeah.
people who are putting it out were in that secret Facebook group, and they fucking know. Sorry, I don't know if you can curse on here, but
Oh, you can curse all you want.
all
Yeah.
right, hell yeah.
Yeah.
They absolutely knew, and they know, and they just
Yeah.
were silent about it,
Yeah.
and it's ew,
Yeah.
you know.
Exactly. I remember, like, because you and I talked about this just over chat a couple months
Mm,
ago.
hmm.
And so I was asked to speak at Oxford at the Oxford debates on, like, about teaching hell and, like, whether that's damaging and traumatizing to teach about, you deserve to go to hell. And I was really excited about it. And then I found out that I was going to be sharing a stage with Michael Shermer, who has a
Remind me
bunch of.
who that is.
He's one of the old atheist guys. He's the founder of Skeptic magazine,
Okay.
but he has a bunch of sexual assault allegations against him, and he's also super transphobic. And I'm like, I make stands all the time, and I call out people all the time for working with these kind of people. There's no way in hell. Like, I had already bought my ticket to go there and stuff, and I'm like, it's just not right. I no. So I like immediately canceled that, and it sucks. It sucks to like lose an opportunity like that, but I think it sucks more to promote somebody like that and to be on a stage with somebody like that. I couldn't
Turn a blind
imagine.
eye. Turn a
Yeah.
blind eye to a battered woman and her
Yeah.
children.
Yeah.
And I'll while I'm on the subject, I will name Nadia Boltz-Weber was also part
Right.
of
Yes.
that project, and I see her now. She's like the Tony Bourdain of the ECLA.
Yeah.
She's all like, "Ugh, fuck yeah," and she kind of does these image revamps, tweaks every once in a while. It's kind of funny because I
Yeah.
didn't recognize her with her new hair on
Right.
something that she's talking to Rainn Wilson, whatever, I forget the name of his platform, but I was like, oh,
Oh,
I
the
like what
soul
this
pancake.
person.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, and so I was scrolling and I see her, didn't recognize her, and I'm like, oh, I like what she's saying. And then it said her name at the bottom, and I'm like, this,
Yeah.
block, broken clock, twice a day. Sure, I can
Yeah.
appreciate some of that, but it's just so dire. And I think
Yeah.
that it's kind of leading up to the stuff that's coming out now, all the Epstein stuff. Empires are falling,
Yeah.
the ICE, all the US administration stuff coming out. It's really interesting. I think
Yeah.
that it's thanks to the internet, things are more visible than ever, and people are finally going, oh, this is what's actually happening.
Yeah. Yeah. How do you feel now about like people who voted for Trump 3 times and then all of a sudden are like, actually, maybe I was wrong?
I mean, total Schadenfreude. And
Yeah.
the only people who are sad are the ones whose spouses are getting deported, or they're like,
Yeah.
oh, I have to pay $8 a gallon now, and how
Yeah.
dare that, it's like directly affecting them.
So what? Yeah. What kind of even you grew up Southern Baptist, right? Is that right?
Pretty much, yeah,
Yeah.
going to non-denominational churches, but my
Right.
dad was or Baptist churches. And then every few years my parents would get mad at the leadership, and
Yeah.
we'd switch. And but getting donations from these churches was a big part of their whole ministry plan. The
Right.
I want to call them grifters because
Yeah.
they did a good job. They
Yeah.
knew how to pump these Southern oil people, for their money. And
Amazing.
and people
Yeah.
would come to my house. Like, we had a pool, and my friends are like, what do your parents do? Do they work? They're always home. I'm like, oh no, we just pray and God sends this money. And my parents are like, stop saying
Amazing.
that to people. Don't say that.
Yeah. But it's true, right?
I gotta admire the business model and their life
Yeah.
design.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, I'm working on a video now about Christian scams and how Christians are pretty good targets for scams. And I think a lot of the times too, it's as long as you offer them a sense of community, even if it's not you're actually in the same place as somebody, but like a secret that they don't, that other people don't know. So you're part of this in group, and all you have to do is send us $1,000, and
It's amazing. I mean, it's straight up marketing. It's just
oh
oily.
yeah, yeah, exactly. It's so great.
It's like, how do you all sleep at night?
Yeah. What's grinding your gears these days?
These days? Um, well, the administration is.
Yeah.
I've just had to detach. I mean, everyone is like, how do I survive this? Because we got our freaking phones, and we weren't made for this. We weren't made to
Yeah.
have this kind of assault like coming at us in the way it is. And
Yeah.
so I got a brick for my phone, one of those things you like put on the fridge and you can turn off your apps. And
Oh, okay.
the way it works is like you can't overwrite it from your phone. With all of my timer apps and those things I download, I can just override them, like, I want to stay on and keep scrolling. But
Yeah.
this, you have to walk out. It's like it turns it into kind of a landline. So that's really
Okay.
helping me be
Yeah.
more sane from everything that's grinding my gears coming across
Y-
yeah, my screen. But I've found, and I'm posting about this, a good friend of mine. He had been a very good friend, was and he does music, and we had a podcast together, and
Yeah.
just known him and his family for years. So David Bazan,
Right.
he it's come out that you know, uh, a woman came forward, and she had told me this in confidence 5 years ago. Like, what do I do? I
Yeah.
feel I had a very bad experience with Dave Bazan, and I want to talk about it publicly, but his fan base will come after me and not believe me. And I'm like, yeah, you're actually
Yeah.
absolutely correct about that. And
Yeah.
So it's been 4 or 5 years, and she just came forward publicly. And what's grinding my gears is how people are in my DMs saying, "No, you've got it wrong. Dave's a great guy." So that's just frustrating in this day and
Yeah.
age. These guys, and it's guy. I mean, I know that some women do feel the same way, but these have been guys coming to me, and
Yeah.
it feels like you're really tone deaf, and you have daughters. And what is stopping you from asking the question, well, is this possible? Like, why do I need to be this committed to the idea of my Lord and Savior, Dave Bazan, being such a good guy
Yeah.
that he could never do this?
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
so fascinating
Yeah.
that it's another example of the safe space that you thought was in a progressive space,
Yep.
because Dave's whole thing is being an ally. Every set I've seen him play in the last, 10 or 15 years, he'll have a little breakdown in the middle and
Yeah.
say, guys, we really need to stand up for women. They don't have as much privilege as we do. And but someone told me today, she's like, yeah, when my husband went to Bazan and said, is this true? I heard this from Stephanie Drury. He said, oh, she's crazy. Dave Bazan said, she's crazy. You can't listen to anything she's
Oh,
so, so
classic.
typical. It's so
Yeah.
typical and just disappointing coming from, it's heartbreaking. So
Yeah.
I'm moving out of a space of my gears being ground
Yeah.
into a space of heartbreak, because that's what's
Yeah.
under it. Yeah.
That is, and that's what it. Yeah, because I've seen him a number of times too. I was a huge fan, and then you
Hmm.
posted that, and I'm like, oh well, fuck him. Like what?
Thank
Like you
you
just,
for believing
yeah,
it.
yeah, of
It's
course, yeah,
it's so, and we love him, and he needs to, that he's just posting through it, ignoring it, and it's like,
yeah,
you have to speak to it and do the right thing here. So
yeah.
thank
Do
you
some, yeah,
for
yeah.
citing being on the
It's
right side of
just,
history with that.
yeah, it's yeah. And my thing is too, like it's been shown so many times that like false accusations are so rare. Like they are so rare. Like people who like worry about being falsely accused of sexually assaulting someone are actually more likely to be sexually assaulted than to be falsely accused. Like, and but
That's how
so
rare it
often,
is. Yeah.
yeah, but so often people are just jump to defend the guy and just like, and with yeah, with any sort of accusation, especially if it's somebody you're already in the fandom for, you're like,
Oh,
oh,
well, I was
okay,
in the
yeah,
fandom. Yeah, no, I
yeah,
get it. And it's his friend. And
yeah,
we had a podcast together, and his wife threw baby shower for me. And so we just have
yeah,
so much history. And then to hear that he's calling me crazy
yeah,
before naming what he did, and just trying to help these people tell their story.
yeah.
Uh, so
Such
it's always
a
something, right?
it's always calling women crazy. That's always like the first step. I mean, that's what Tony Jones did too. Was he was just always calling his wife crazy, and yeah,
And I believed him, because
yeah,
that's just in believed him initially. Like,
yeah,
oh, Julie's batshit. And I'm like, well,
yeah,
I'm sure she is. We all were like, uh-huh, probably. But
yeah,
then, reading more about it and
yeah,
working in this field more, it's like, oh, abuse makes you crazy. Like, it will.
yeah,
There's a lot of science for why you appear crazy, because
yeah,
your brain like breaks it up, and where it's stored in your,
yeah,
I can't remember the part of the brain. I was just reading the amygdala or
yeah,
something. It breaks up because that's
yeah,
how you process it. You can't, it's
yeah,
so overwhelming that you kind of have to split off and fracture, and then it stores in your body, and it's hard to access a through line. So when
yeah,
you're trying to recount it, you kind of are telling it as you're second guessing yourself, because part of the
yeah.
abuse was doubting yourself as the abuse was happening. Like, maybe this isn't as bad as I'm thinking it is. I'm just being too
Right.
sensitive. This
Yeah.
person is, they have more power than me, so I need to acquiesce and make them happy, and
Yeah.
earn their, that's just how it works. So
Yeah. Yeah. And a lot of times abusers will target people who are, people pleasers or people who like, just want everybody to get along and, and that, yeah, they target specific people, or they might target somebody who has had some mental health issues. That doesn't
mhm.
mean that what they're saying is is wrong. There's so many. Yeah, it's just it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm glad you brought that up. That's a very true point. They can sense it.
yeah,
And just like
yeah.
how they say that survivors of the Vietnam War could sense when another was in the room. I
Right.
just feel like it's
Yeah,
that kind of spidey sense
yeah,
where you can just pick up on it and go, this
yeah,
person is someone who I can
yeah,
bend to my will better than say that
yeah.
person over there.
Yeah, because I had a friend who, like, I consider now it was a friendship. We weren't in a romantic relationship, but I now consider it an abusive relationship.
Hmm.
And, like, I mean, looking back, it's like I lost 50 pounds at least. Like, I was just super skinny and I
Whoa.
was just, like, not in a good state mentally. And when I look back on it, it's like, yeah, no, he targeted me. Like, he knew that I was somebody who, just people pleaser. I was a peacemaker. I was always the one trying to make sure everybody was getting along. And then it's like he dove in, and that was how he
My
manipulated
goodness.
me. And
I'm so
yeah, so
sorry.
it's just one of those one of those things.
So
That,
you
yeah,
understand, it's
yeah,
helpful to talk to someone who has been through it. Yes.
yeah,
Because it does sound absurd if you haven't lived it or processed it, whatever
yeah.
has happened to you. Yeah.
Yeah, or you haven't had loved ones who've been in abusive relationships, and you see just what
Yeah.
happens. And yeah, what gives you hope?
What gives me hope is conversations like this. The fact that you're curious and having a series on this, I think, is really lovely. And this is
Awesome.
the type of thing that feels like what church should feel like.
Mm, yeah,
No strings, no pressure to donate, and no, you don't need stacked chairs afterwards. Like, we just want to talk.
yeah,
And you have inherent worth, and let's get together because we need face-to-face interaction
yeah,
in order to get through. This is how we're wired.
yeah, yeah, and yeah, the fact that you're doing what you do, like just the fact that there's so many people who are calling out what needs to be called out, that gives me hope. And it's like just the fact that like there are people upset, like at things you should be upset about.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yes, I mean, people talk so much about how dark it is out there, and they're absolutely right.
yeah,
And I'm so gratified to see the people who are naming it and fighting back.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
incredibly hopeful to me because we have to see it in order to respond appropriately and react. So I'm, grateful to have to see all the horrors in order for us as a species to revolutionize.
Yeah, exactly. And let's get the revolution done though, so that we can just relax. But for now,
Yeah.
this is what we're
Can there
doing,
be
I
some
guess.
respite soon, please?
Yeah, exactly. Like in World War I, when they took that break on Christmas, like why don't we just like all stop being evil for a year? Like give us all just a break. But we'll see.
A little jubilee. Is that what the Catholic Church calls it or something? Like the year
Yeah,
of
I think
jubilee or
so.
something?
Yeah.
It's like, wow, we could stretch this out a lot longer than 1 year if you wanted to.
Exactly. Do you have a current nemesis?
All the Theala bros out there,
Oh, yes, yes.
they just swoop in and they're like, well, actually,
Yeah.
read the room.
Yeah, and they're so angry too. There's nothing, they never come at it with, "Oh, I understand how you got to that," but it's actually this. It's always like, well, they got to have like this much space above their head, and they're just angrily talking about how stupid you are for having a different theological opinion than them.
It's fascinating because I have um a male pseudonym online that I started like over 10 years ago. And it took a couple of years to cultivate because you had to get like a believable following. But
Right.
I did it for the purpose of seeing if I'm treated differently online, if they think I'm cis male than
Yeah.
being myself. And
Yeah.
oh my God, 180-degree difference. Like I will say the same thing to these same guys. And as myself, they're like, little late, their posture is very much like, well, it's cute that you think that, but
Yeah.
and also like a little bit mad at me. But if I say the same thing and they think that I'm a guy, they say things like, Um, Interesting point. I hadn't thought about it like that. Huh. Good take, bro. All right, thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks, man. Thanks for showing me that angle. And it's so um yeah, back to the heartbreak, they're
Yeah.
not so much my nemesis as they
Yeah.
are the breakers of my heart because
Yeah.
I have a daughter, it shouldn't matter that I have a daughter, but I
Yeah. But
know
it's
that yeah, this is just the way the world is
yeah.
and why? What is it?
Yeah. Yeah. I always ask why are men like and I feel like I'm allowed to because I'm ace, so I'm not using it to try to hit on
Oh,
people. I'm literally like, I just hate us. But like,
well, that'll do it.
yeah.
Like, oh, I'm veering more and more away from
Yeah.
yeah, feeling any kind of attraction to anybody after what y'all are up to out there.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, let me get my cat a treat and watch the Gilmore Girls again. Like
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
kind of
That's the
where
life.
I think a lot of women are headed.
Yeah. And yeah, it's just so toxic out there. And I think, yeah, there's just so much that builds on other toxicities on toxicities. And it's just like, it's, yeah, because I was just listening to, do you ever listen to Behind the Bastards?
Yes,
Okay, because they just did an
yes.
episode about
Which
incels.
one?
They
On
just did
incels,
one
you
about,
said?
yeah, about incels and Elliot Rodger and stuff like that. And just,
Whoa.
yeah,
I don't know
yeah.
if my blood pressure could take it.
Yeah, it was a tough one. It was, yeah, it wasn't fun, but yeah, the internet has made it worse. But guys have also always been pretty awful.
It's fascinating. I
Yeah,
kind of don't, because if you meet a man in person, one on
yeah,
one, you can get to some sort of connection and I can always talk to someone.
yeah,
But behind whatever the patriarchy has done to this poor soul who grew up a little boy who wasn't able
yeah,
to, feel his emotions, which is what I think it comes from.
yeah,
The only acceptable emotions are like rage and being psychotically happy, right? Like
yeah.
laughter, that's acceptable, but you can't be sad, you can't be afraid, you can't be vulnerable
No,
like girls are allowed to. So it just kind of
yeah,
comes down to how can we change this? Can we possibly model acceptance of all your emotions? And
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
What was it like? Men say that they don't like they're not controlled by their emotions because they don't consider anger an emotion. But
Wow. You know, they say that anger is like a protective state of being and underneath it is the fear or
yeah,
the heartbreak, the sadness that you're just it's so vulnerable that you want to put something protective like anger around it, so that makes sense if
yeah,
it's
that
not even an
does.
emotion.
Yeah. And like, well, did you see that clip of I think it was Logan Paul, one of the Paul brothers, but I think Logan, where he said that, well, I don't want to sound like a woke asshole here, but women actually have it kind of hard.
Wow.
Yeah. It's like having a little bit of empathy, like the smallest amount of empathy,
It's actually
doesn't make
shocking
you, yeah,
that
doesn't
he
make
said
you
that
an
much.
woke asshole. Yeah, exactly.
Oh man, just the fact that like would be seen as being a woke asshole
Yeah.
too. It's so sad. It's not his fault. It's like the system's fault.
It is. Yeah. And it's getting constantly getting rewarded for nothing and like just being a dude and constantly getting rewarded for having terrible opinions and because we live in a
No one calls
society
you
that
on them. Yeah, you
yeah,
can get away with it. You can keep selling tickets and all your accusers can be called crazy and
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Are you oh, what's his name? What's the Elevation Churches? I talk
Oh,
about him all
Stephen
the
Furtick.
Stephen Furtick. Are you following him at all lately or
I dropped off. I don't know if you
yeah,
remember when this was before he was like who what he's turned into. He has
yeah,
a show on TBN or something and he's huge now. Like
Y-
physically and
Yeah.
financially and all that.
Yeah.
Um, but back in the day, we were making fun of him on the Stuff Christian Culture Likes Facebook page, and he personally got on there to defend himself.
Of course
And
he
this was
did.
probably in like 2010, and we just, shredded him. And the
Oh
next
yeah.
day, or maybe the 2 days after, he posted this long clip that was called "Hey Haters," and it's on
That was
GodTube.
about you?
That was
Oh.
he never named us, but I the timing was lined up perfectly with his
Yeah.
hurt feelings, and he had enough time to get his unpaid interns production team to write this big long like Henry Rollins monologue where he's pacing
Yeah.
around, "Hey haters, your day is done." And it's like my favorite thing.
It's
But
so good.
you know it, so that's
Oh
really
yeah.
funny.
I found it a couple years ago. I in an article about him, there was a link to it. So he had, instead of setting it to private or removing it because it was super embarrassing, he just set it to unlisted. So the link still worked, and I was like, immediate download. I have to have this. So if you ever need it for anything,
Okay.
I have it on a file somewhere. It is one of the best things that has ever been made. And like there's parodies of it, like people did lip syncs of it. It's just, oh, it's so funny. Did you ever see his coloring book?
Oh God. Yes, like the North Korea kind of propaganda about our great
Yeah.
leader. They're like, Pastor
Yeah.
Stephen is our great leader.
Yeah.
He would never steer us wrong. Color him giving God's infallible truth to us right now.
Yeah. Like people love him.
Well, he's
I,
all
I've,
roided out now.
oh,
He's
he
like
is. Yeah.
massive, and he's got like roid rage. Like
Oh,
the
yeah.
way he just is like pacing and
Yeah. And, oh, he can't, he can't be a happy man.
mm,
Like,
I know. I'm always like, let's check on his wife and his kids. I just think this
yeah.
about all these pastors. But
Same.
did you see that thing of a clip of him that was going around a few weeks ago where he's preaching, he's on stage, and he goes, "I feel like I've just had a bump of coke, and I've never done
Yes.
coke. For the record, for the record, for the
Yeah, for
record,
the record.
for the."
For the record.
I
It's
watched that on a
amazing.
loop.
Yeah.
Like, okay, guess he's on
Uh
coke.
they defend him like crazy still. It's yeah, his cult is it's only growing. And then recently they had to fire his youth pastor. Did you hear about
Why?
this?
Uh-uh.
I feel like I'm just gonna gossip for the rest.
No, do it.
Um,
It's not gossip.
hit
It's out there on public record. For the record,
for inappropriate stuff. For the record, for inappropriate stuff with former students.
of
Of
course.
course, it's a youth pastor, and from a different church. But I had used clips of this guy because he always talks about his hot wife. He's one of those pastors that always talks about his smoking hot wife. So whenever I had to like talk about a youth pastor, I'd just show a clip of him talking about his smoking hot wife, and then he had to leave Elevation Church because of accusations.
Look at that.
Yeah, it's it's almost like people who care so much about people's approval of like how hot their wife is might have issues. Might have
Might be compensating for a little
yeah,
something. I mean,
yeah,
it's just so that band Jimmy Eat World
yeah.
on Twitter a while ago. The drummer from that band is apparently evangelical, and he got really
Oh,
mad at
good.
me on Twitter because I was making fun. Because I would go on these like uh, retweeting binges where I would just search, my hot
Yeah,
wife, and then be all these pastors I just retweet like, oh,
yeah,
here you are with your hot wife, and it's, a lot of times I'd have a picture of her, and it just felt really invasive, like, ew,
yeah,
she's like a piece of meat, and
yeah,
she's here to make me look good, and if she's even really not that conventionally attractive, I'm going to tell you that she is, and you're just going to agree
yeah,
with me, like,
yeah.
it just is so gross. So I would just retweet that, and this guy, I think his name's Zach from Jimmy Eat World, is so angry. He's like, my wife loves being called hot. And I'm like, well, was she conditioned to, think
Yeah,
that that is like the best you can get, possibly?
yeah,
Because I was. And
yeah,
so let's sit with why you feel the need to tell everyone you have a hot wife. Like, what is that about?
yeah,
Why would you bring us into that? Why would you like invite us to critique her? And he
yeah.
was not having any of it.
I mean, do you think that's just from purity culture? Like it's like a kind of a direct line from purity culture of like when
I
you get
do.
married, yeah,
I do, because I feel like everything is pointing back to purity culture, and I feel like purity
yeah,
culture kind of points to pedophile
yep,
culture, where it's just a through line.
yeah,
If you can marry young and start breeding,
yep,
why is that the goal? It's like there's such an emphasis on that in
yeah,
evangelicalism. I talked to so many people who had been to Mark Driscoll's church, Mars Hill, here in
yeah,
Seattle, who said this was women who would say, "Yeah, I went to college and I was working and everything. Then I started going to this church, Marcel. It seemed cool and seemed good. And then they started emphasizing that we needed to get married. And then once I was married, they emphasized that I needed to quit my job and we needed to have as many babies as the Lord would give us. And the husbands, the men were not allowed to jerk off, and women were not allowed to say no to sex. So my good friend who is a midwife said that she had so many Mars Hill couples come through just year after year, kind of on the dot,
yeah.
because this is like what the teaching was, and they were just pumping out babies and they're young. And she was
Yeah.
like, it was really creeping me out. And then I found out, what was going on. So it just feels so yucky. It feels like nothing tied to Christianity, and
Oh yeah, no.
something darker is going on.
Yeah, it's very dark. And it's like a lot of it comes from racism too, like the great replacement theory and people thinking that,
Oh,
us
yeah.
Christians, us good white Christian evangelicals, we have to procreate cuz we're going to get replaced by Muslims or whatever it is. Like
And
it's
please, they need to
yeah.
replace us. Like,
Yeah.
wipe us out. Good Lord. We've had
Yeah.
way too much time.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, I think one of the biggest moral failures of Christian culture has been purity culture and just like the way it it destroys boys and girls. Like I think it just really messes so many people up. I think a lot of, you know, child molesting pastors or youth pastors, it's directly a line from purity culture and yeah, there's just so much that makes me so angry.
Yeah, and it
Yeah.
should, you
Yeah.
know,
And
like
I
on the
remember
subject
like
of anger.
yeah.
Oh, anger is good because it's like a signal that something is going on that really
Yeah.
needs our urgent attention. Yeah.
Yeah. And like cuz I was a youth pastor for a little while and I remember my niece was a teenager when I was a youth pastor, just lived in a different city and she would tell me things that her youth pastor was saying and doing and all the red flags were going. Like she was saying she went to youth group, she was in shorts and he just came over and grabbed her leg and was like, "Oh, no, that's too short." kind of thing or like just always commenting on what the girls were wearing and stuff like that and
Fucking yikes.
yeah
Where's that
and
guy now? Let's look him up.
I want to find out because of course accusations came out later like and of course he's yeah
If he was
the
being
word
that bold in front of everybody, what was he doing behind closed doors? Yeah.
exactly yeah and it just I was like you guys got to get out of there and eventually they did but yeah it's just and I would see like I when I was a volunteer because you have to do a certain amount of volunteer hours when you're in Bible college so I was volunteering with youth groups and you'd see some of the male volunteers like in their late 20s and the way they interact with certain girls instead of like versus other girls it's like oh no you have a preference like this is wrong and it was yeah it can be very predatory and disturbing
Mm.
yeah
I mean, I have to say it means a lot for a man to name this. You're
yeah
Ace. I don't know how you identify, but you
yeah
present as a
yeah
man.
I'm a
Okay,
man yeah
okay, okay,
I'm an anchor
okay.
man yeah
I'm gonna punch you in the ovaries. Um,
yeah
but it really means a lot.
mm,
Because men listen to other men, and it surprises me each time when a man will point this out, and they've noticed it. I
yeah
think it goes under the radar for
yeah
a lot of men because it doesn't affect them. It doesn't. come straight across. So
Yeah.
it just means
Eh,
that you've been paying attention. I really appreciate
yeah.
that because that's going to help a lot of people.
Good. Okay. And I was like, I reported one guy to the youth pastor, and he brushed me off like it was nothing. And it's
Wow.
like he's just a friendly guy. And
Oh, hell no. Yeah, I was just watching Surviving Mormonism,
oh yeah,
this documentary series. I want to say it's on Hulu. No, maybe it's Peacock because it's a it's the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City
right.
offshoot. But anyway, um she she's interviewing people who keep saying that when they went to report abuse in the Mormon church, it went to a special hotline that turned out to be completely internal, although they were making you think that it was getting reported to outside
Yeah.
authorities. Nothing was getting to the police.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that I just watched Spotlight for the first time. I was like, it's time that I watched
Right.
this movie.
Yeah.
Wow. Um, it's just everywhere. It's not
It's a yeah.
exclusive to one. Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, so many people like to point the fingers at other organizations and be like, yeah, they're the bad ones. And but it's like if you're not looking internally, what are you doing? Because and
Yeah.
so often people will be like, why are you always just picking on Christians? And it's like, no, I want them to be safe. Like I'm calling out these people not because I'm saying, see, this means that Christianity isn't true, but saying I used to be in this community and I see the dangers that happen to people in this community and I don't want that to happen anymore.
Exactly. Yes, I mean we're not trying. Oh, I have a tuxedo cat too.
Nice.
What's your his name? Her name?
Jagger. Uh,
Oh,
yeah. It's before we knew stuff about Mick Jagger and Epstein, but
ah, no one's safe from those freaking
I know.
files. It's just like wow,
Yeah,
wow. Everyone. Carol Radziwill on the Housewives tip. I'm like seriously.
yeah.
I don't know how closely you follow the Real Housewives, but
Not much, but
unfortunately, I know way too much about
you're
them. But
yeah, nice.
yeah, just the fact that people are defensive of Christianity. It's like, no, we're trying to help people be safe within it. We're not picking on the
Yeah,
Christians, but they're the ones that are whose whole, like what I was saying earlier, the entire platform is protecting the vulnerable and being
yeah,
selfless. So we're just trying to hold them to their own standard that they are proclaiming that they have.
yeah, exactly. And then I always said when I was a Christian, and I say it now, I guess too, but like if God's real, if He's in charge and He, is, you know, all powerful and stuff, He can take some criticism. He can take some questions.
Right?
His people should be able to take some questions and some criticism, but
I mean,
here we
half
are.
the Psalms are kind of I always thought they're kind of shocking. Like
Yeah,
the psalmist is telling God like they want to die and they hate him, and why is he
yeah,
putting them through this? And then the next one is like, "Yay, you helped," and next one is
yeah,
like, "Fuck you."
yeah.
And
And
I just
Jesus
remember,
was,
yes,
yeah,
Jacob wrestled the angel, and the angel was
yeah,
God, and the angel allowed himself to be overcome. It's just like God invites a back and forth. I would
yeah,
imagine, I would hope, like
yeah.
this is
Exactly.
what
One
seems
would,
the
yeah,
Bible seems to be communicating this. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. God would hear people out throughout, like, I'm gonna destroy this city, and Abraham's like, well, my nephew lives there, like, and they had a dialogue about it, like that should be the way it works. No, I don't know.
Totally.
Okay, so this is the part of the program where we move into the lightning round.
Okay.
So here we go. Are you an early bird or a night owl?
I'm an early bird. And by that I mean I go to bed early too. No.
Yeah,
I didn't used to. And just in the pandemic I started being like, "Oh my God, I'm really sleep deprived. I want to go to bed at 7. This is
yeah,
fun."
amazing.
As a result, I'm up at like 5, but
I'm a night owl, 100%. But I went to England for a vacation. It was supposed to be. I was supposed to talk at Oxford, but it was a vacation. And when I got back, it took me a long time to adjust to like the time change back, and I was like, maybe I'm a morning person now. But it's been a couple weeks, and
it
I'm
didn't stick. Okay.
completely up till 4 in the morning again. So very much a night owl, and it will be that way till I die.
I used to
Um,
be that way. Yeah, I think it's an old age thing.
Yeah. Well, I just turned 45, so maybe I'll start.
Yeah, keep me posted.
Okay, deal. Um, what TV show are you currently watching? I think you already said the Mormon one, but
I'm watching like any number of shows, but I super love Neighbors on HBO Max right
oh
now,
yeah.
which is a little docu-series where each episode is they feature two different sets of neighbors in two different parts of the country. It's
Okay,
my
I just
favorite
saw a clip
thing.
from that today on TikTok, and I was like, whatever this is, I need to watch it because
It's
I am
so good.
okay.
It goes
Amazing.
in directions. The editing's so good. It's HBO. It's just like
Yeah.
amazing. And I also really like DTF St. Louis.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, DT. Yeah, the one with Jason Bateman and
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, I saw the first episode, and I wasn't sure if I was going to keep going, but I'll give it
I was
another
just
shot.
really taken by the umpire gear uh little side story. I was like, oh, I hate her in
Yes.
that umpire gear. Like I kept backing that up and I'm like, I need to get me some
Yeah.
umpire gear and torment my husband with
That was
it.
funny. Yeah. Like yeah, every time he tried to yeah, it was good. What is the last movie you saw in the theater?
In the theater, it might have been that Knives Out one.
Okay.
Wake Up Dead Man. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good one. I like that one a
That's
lot.
been a few months. I need to get back into the theater though.
Mine was oh, I got to go see more so that I don't say it every time, but I just saw Crime 101, and
Oh
it was
yeah.
only because I wanted to leave the house and didn't know what to do and ended up at the movie theater. It was fine though.
It's a good way to go. No, I love it. I love going to a movie I don't know anything about
Yeah,
and just
same.
like really low stakes. And I'm like, I'm just here for the experience. There's something
Yeah.
about that. Yeah.
Yeah, and there was four other people in the theater and one person was so bored. They were like making just angry sighs about how bored they were and then would get up and just walk around for a while and
Freedom.
yeah, exactly.
No, and I think it was the Beetlejuice sequel.
Yeah.
A couple years there was a kid who was clearly on the spectrum, but then aren't we all? But this kid
Yeah.
like could not stay in their seat the whole time and they just like lay down the middle of the aisle. And I like really like that everyone let them. Like
Yeah.
they're like, yeah, I get it.
Yeah. When I saw the Barbie movie, it was sold out and people obviously snuck in and nobody cared. Like none of the ushers or anybody kicked them out. It was just like people sitting on the halls, complete like fire hazard. I'm like, all right, we're doing this, I guess.
Oh, I love that. It's like a
Yeah.
community thing.
Yeah, exactly. What's the last book you read?
I just read a book called The Reluctant Psychic by this woman named Susan Saxman, and she wrote it with I read it because I love this woman, Perdita Fenn. Um, and before that I'd read Perdita's book Take Back the Magic,
Okay,
and she's talking about connections she's been able to make with her ancestors.
interesting.
She wrote the book, she started out writing it, well, each chapter is a letter to her father who passed away, and she's going through his stuff. And it was really lovely how they had a very contentious relationship, but as she's approaching all of this with a certain measure of grace,
Yeah.
and she's learning more and more about his childhood as she's going through. It was profoundly moving. And then I'm like, I need to read everything else Perdita Finn has written. So
Okay,
those were
I will check her
the
out.
last two.
That's amazing. And then, what is your go-to candy?
I super love Reese's.
Mm,
Anything like Reese's Pieces, anything with peanut butter in it. Like
yeah.
Snickers, a lot of people like I had a coworker who's like, "Ew, you like Snickers?" I'm like, "You don't?" I don't know.
Yeah. There's something suspicious about somebody who doesn't like Snickers, I
I
think.
think so
That's
too.
yeah.
So
That's just
she would give me all the Snickers from her kids' Halloween candy every year, and I'm like, jackpot. And also, what's your problem?
yeah.
But I freaking yeah, it's a
Yeah.
problem. I can't keep it in the house because yeah, I'm like
Yeah.
David. If you have any Reese's in here, don't tell me about them. Like hide them because I will think about them until I find them.
When I was a kid, I convinced myself I didn't like the combination of peanut butter and chocolate.
Oh yeah,
Um, I, I think some kids, and I was one of them, take not liking a certain food as a personality trait. Like, oh, I don't like
Yes.
that food. Yeah, and that was me with Reese, and anything with peanut butter in it. And then as an adult, I took a handful of somebody's Halloween candy, and there was some. I'm like, wait, this is really good. And then my life was changed forever.
Like your taste buds turn over every
That's
7
true.
years or something like that. So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
let's chalk it up to that.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm always challenging myself to like new foods, and then sometimes I've tried to like sushi so many times, but I'm just not
Yeah,
that
that
cool.
might I have so have you started with California rolls?
Yeah, I can do a
And
California roll.
you
Yeah,
yeah, but it's
yeah,
like the sashimi probably that's a little too much for
Y-
you. Like the actual
yeah.
big hunk of raw fish, is that maybe just a little step too
That's too
far?
much, and even the seaweed, I just don't like seaweed.
It's probably a texture thing.
Yeah, it is. I think that's a big
Yeah.
part of it too. And then yeah, you get that in your mouth. You bite off too much, and it's like, oh, this is the worst moment of my life, and you just have to get through it. And
I'm like that with oysters. Like everyone's like, "Yay, oysters!" I'm like, "Ew, oysters!" You know. And all you do
yeah,
is you shoot them anyway. Like they're not. I don't see why that's fun. You
yeah,
can't
and you're
really taste
flavoring it with
them.
other stuff, and yeah,
Exactly.
yeah, I get that completely. And I'm always afraid with oysters that I'm just gonna get super sick. So I.
Oh, I know. It's like a roulette wheel when they bring it to the table. I'm like, "Oh no."
Well, nothing important I have to do at work tomorrow. I guess I'll give it a shot. All right, where can people find you?
I'm mainly on Stuff Christian Culture Likes Instagram. I'm starting a new podcast called Deconstruction Workers. So that's
I
Deconstruction
like
Workers
that.
Pod is
I like that
the
a lot.
Instagram handle. Stuff Christian Culture Likes on Facebook and on Threads. That's where I'm running my mouth
Love it.
24/7. I'm chronically online. So
Are you on Blue Sky? Have you tried that?
I am, but I haven't. It's an effort, you know. I
Yeah.
haven't gained much traction, so sometimes I'll remember to like double post over there,
Yeah,
but
same.
I'll get
Yeah.
one like, you know. The
Well, I
payoff
thought I'd
isn't
put
the
all my
same.
eggs in the Blue Sky basket, and then like people have to be there. Like people have to
Thank
interact
you.
with it. Yeah.
I tried.
Yeah. It's like, well, because I was like, well, Threads is owned by Zucky. It's like, yeah, but what
Exactly.
isn't? What
What
isn't?
isn't?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm on Substack. That's another
Yeah.
thing that I feel a little guilty about because they have nefarious dealings too. I'm like, where can I freaking go?
Yeah. But
But
at this point, it's like, if we don't, if we all get off all the platforms, then we don't have a voice. So it's like, yeah,
I
it's,
know it's why I'm picking my battles. It's like
yeah,
when you live in a capitalistic society, you're supporting it no matter what.
yeah,
Uh,
exactly.
uh,
Yeah. But I'm still off Twitter.
yes, yes,
Yeah.
that's that. They ruined that for me very effectively.
Yeah.
That's gone.
Yeah. I'll send you a comic, but there was I'll put it on the screen. I just saw a comic the other day that was like, we're not a Nazi restaurant. It's just that we didn't kick out the Nazis. So the Nazis kept coming, and then nobody else would come because we only have Nazis, and then it pans out in the Twitter restaurant.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. But thank you so much. It has been a pleasure talking to you. I hope I didn't fanboy too much.
What?
But
No, this was so much fun. Thank you so much for having me on.
awesome. Thank you so much. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Work, 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 Sky Moon.
This podcast has been brought to you by the Sonar Network. Sonar!